Vishu ആശംസകൾ പുത്താണ്ട് വാർത്തകൾ Assamese and Bengalis, it's a new year there too. Wonderful culture of our country, isn't it? You miss the January 1st in keeping up your resolution, you get a Telugu New Year to restart again. And if you miss the Ugadi also and you fail in your resolutions, you get a Vishu to again contemplate on what you have missed and then restart again. Every moment our country gives you an opportunity, never allows you to deviate, isn't it? Today again one more new year. So forget that Ugadi, we decided to do something, we haven't done it yet. Okay, let us start from Tamil New Year or Malayalam New Year or some other New Year. Every single time God is giving an opportunity for us to ask ourselves whether we are keeping up our promises, we are living according to our resolutions or not. If not, here is another opportunity. But not only every new year, every new day is an opportunity. Every new morning is an opportunity to wake up and ask oneself whether I have achieved what I needed to achieve. If not, can I spend today in the pursuit of that which I have come for? And another day is a gift of God to be used in the pursuit of God. That is why every new day, every new year is celebrated in India. Every morning we celebrate, isn't it? We wake up every morning. What do? We do the namaskar to Surya. We chant Suprabhata. Every morning is a festival we celebrate because God has given us another opportunity to see His glory through the day, to work for Him at the end of the day, to realize Him. So that is the opportunity that God gives us every day and every couple of months, like these festivals, to rethink whether what we are doing is in line, in accordance with God's will, with the ultimate pursuit of our lives, the realization of self or not. Our Upanishads say, Pashyannapi na pashyati mudha. He sees yet he does not see at all. So in the morning of the Vishu, what do we put? We put Vishu Kani. Kani means to kana, to see. To see auspiciousness, to see divinity is the effort of Vishu, isn't it? So is it only on the Vishu morning that we should see auspiciousness and divinity and prosperity? It is just a symbol. Krishna is the Atma. All the other things are the Prakriti. In both we see auspiciousness. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everybody see auspiciousness, let everybody see divinity. That is the Indian idea, that is the pursuit. So we put symbolically Krishna on one side, Sarvam Krishnamayam, Sarvam Vishnumayam. Everything is divine with that thought. And at the same time we also know that we need this world to achieve that world. So we don't ignore this world. He just now said, Vivekananda and his disciple brothers, they starved themselves. Their bodies suffered. At the end of it, they died early because of several diseases that haunted them. So our spirituality is not saying you give up food, give up rest, give up money, give up family. It is not saying that. See, it's put all that in front of you. Saying you have this also, but above that there is a higher goal of life. Jesus is Jivanopadhi. You have to have your food, you need to have good crops, you need to have clothes, you need to have money, you need to have a family. All that is perfectly fine. But more than that, there is a Jivita Paramavadi, that vision of Krishna in everyone, in everything. That also is a part of our pursuit. And this lower world, this Jivanopadhi, is only a means to attain Jivita Paramavadi. It should not become It should not become an obstruction in attaining that. To that extent only we give importance to these items that are placed at Krishna's feet. Only to that extent, that if all this helps me to lead a healthy life, which will help me to pursue the path of spirituality, then please bless me with all these things so that I can attain you. He just now said Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. Which culture in the world gives you such a simple, straight royal path to yourself? Everybody cannot be a sannyasi. So, take the path. You are a brahmachari, learn the good things. Use all these knowledge and skills as grihastha to contribute to the society and to the family. And from the grihastha knowledge, the maturity that you derive, the selflessness that you gain, become a vanaprasthi, where your mind is always in the forest, head in the forest, hands are always in the society, head is in the forest. No more. Slowly unwind yourself from the world till you reach a stage where nothing matters. Kinchita akrutam krutam cha. He does not do anything, there is nothing that he does not do, nor he does. That stage is sannyasa. He is doing things, yet he is not doing anything. The purification of mind, Chitta Shuddhi, leads us to that stage ultimately, where we are engaged, active, yet we are inactive. We are not engaged in anything. Because our mind is completely absorbed in God. And like an autopilot, our body moves and does what it needs to do. As I say, Shushka Patrena Vat. It says like the dry leaf. If outside lot of wind is there, see some leaves will be floating here and there. They seem to be very busy floating around. But they are not doing it on their own. It's the wind that is pushing them this way, that way. Like that, God's wish will push them here and there. Samskara vatena, they say. Based on your samskara, you keep doing, but you are not the doer. That stage we have to reach finally. So every festival, everything that we keep has such higher, deeper meaning. I must see you, Krishna. Kannikat theriyamal. You are not seen by these eyes. Physically, I cannot see you. Just because I put an idol of Krishna, did we have Krishna's darshan today? By seeing the idol of Krishna. There is a higher idea. For to this eyes, you are not supposed to be seen. These eyes are not sufficient to see you. I have to see you through the Jnana Chakshu. And please help me. Another year is starting today. And I place everything at your feet. I place this prayer. Please help me to see you. Next Vishu, I don't want to see you as the stone idol or the wooden idol or a painting. I want to really see you within myself. That I am only you. You are only me. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam. All the beings are me. Sarva bhutani chatmani. And I am all the beings. Can I see you like that by next Vishu? That should be our wish on a Vishu to Krishna, prayer. Today I have put an idol because I have no other choice. I have to see you through the Charma Chakshu only. But give me the blessing that I lead this life, this year, with prosperity, with health, with auspiciousness in dharma, good ways. But at the end of that, let me see you within me, within everybody. Everybody's Eka Atma Sarva Bhutantaratma. In you, you are in everyone. Let me have that vision by next Vishu. That should be the thought. That's why we place all these things. It is not just done as a ritual. There is a great spiritual, deeper meaning that we need this world to attain that world. This is not less, that is not great. Both are needed. Like two wings, like 2 feet, like 2 eyes. But at the end of it, 2 feet walk towards the same direction. 2 wings fly you towards the same direction, to same goal. 2 eyes, though they are 2, they see the same one. Likewise, let both these worlds, Iha and Para, help me only to attain you. You are the only goal, you are the only direction, you are the only achievement, you are the only pursuit I should have. Using both these worlds, the spiritual as well as the material, should help me only attain you at the end. That is the highest of the philosophies, highest of the goals. I have seen many of ashrams, many of the disciples, many abroad also, not just here. They put themselves to so much of physical torture. Some of these Jesuits, they call them. Oh, they put crown of thorns on their head. They torture their bodies, thinking they are experiencing the same pain as Jesus, so they'll purify themselves. Or there are those who whip themselves in the pursuit of God. But Indian culture very simply says, you don't have to do any of these things. You just follow the normal royal path, but follow the path of dharma, that's all. As brahmachari, your dharma, you do your dharma. As grahastha, do your dharma. As vanaprasthi, do your dharma. As sannyasi, do your dharma. Dharma will take you to your destination. It's as simple as that, as straight and clear as that. Does not make anyone feel guilty about anything. Everybody is equally important in his divine play, divine drama, and all are having their roles to play. So that is the beauty of Indian culture, Indian spirituality, and all these festivals with their small rituals like these bring in a great deep spiritual thought into the minds of everyone. Again, the same idea. They got together, they share everything with each other on a Vaisakhi. Why? Because whomever you pray to, Sarva Jiva Namaskaram, Keshavam Prati Gacchati, goes to the same source. I may not be able to feed butter to Krishna in his mouth, but if I feed a poor or my friends and I share my joy with them, the same thing goes to Krishna. So is Tamil New Year, so everybody has the same idea. So you have to think of the idea, deeper idea behind these rituals that our country has, and each has such deep spiritual meaning that everybody have that vision and understanding of Krishna, and let everybody realize that Krishna outside, inside, and in everyone, everything. And that is the true celebration of the festival called life. Every single day when you see this, you are happy. Tatra ko moha ka shokaha. Where is the sorrow then for that person? On a festival, what do we wish? A very sad Vishu, a very sorrowful Vaisakhi. That's what we say. No, we always say happy Vishu, happy Vaisakhi, happy New Year, happy, be happy. But where is this happy? Where is this happy coming from? By eating good food today, stomach full, is it happy? Wearing new clothes and jewelry today, can that be the happy thing? Or you get some money from your elders, that might be a little happy thing though. Some money. All these children go and torture their elders on this morning. Where is my Vishu? Is that going to make us happy? No, they are all for the Iha, for this world happy. But that happiness doesn't last. It's only illusion. It lasts only so long. It's not a permanent thing. So higher happiness you should wish for each other. What is the higher happiness? Happiness is union with God. Only the one who has realized is always happy. Is never na shochati, na vanchati, na kankshati, na kupyati, na vishyati, na dveshti. None of these vikas are there for the one who has realized the Parabrahman. So actually what you are wishing when you are wishing happy Vishu or happy any new year, anything happy, you are actually wishing to that person that ultimately you realize yourself, and that's how you be always happy. I'm not wishing you this small happiness of gifts and treats and clothes and food. I'm wishing you the highest happiness, that may you on this Vishu, on this new year, on this Baisakhi, realize that highest of the happiness so that you can always be happy. There is no question of your not being happy next year. I don't have to come back and wish you again because you are always happy. So that is the idea of all these beautiful festivals, and we must take the message to our heart. So while we still eat and celebrate, that's one part of it. But the main idea is that all this body is given to us so that we can pursue God, we realize God, and thereby become permanently happy. Never have to be unhappy again in our life. So with that idea, you must celebrate these festivals. But most of the people are busy on the festivals cooking food, isn't it? Cooking food, eating food. Shankaracharya was from Kaladi. We went to Kaladi that time. He wrote this. Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhakta. How do you realize God? How much effort you put on your own, you can only go so far. Beyond that, your Guru or your God only has to uplift you. You can go to a certain extent, I'm not saying you cannot. But beyond that, your Guru only has to pick you up and lift you up. But Guru will not bend and pick you up unless he finds you worthy. Why would he come and pick you up? Unless you find you worthy of his grace. And how do we become worthy of his grace? That is what it says. You depend on the Guru. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Giving up all the sense of doership and duties. Not that give up all the action. Give up all the sense of doership and duties. Mat karma paramo bhava. Keep everything do everything for my sake. Not as your own doership. Not as your own initiation. Not for selfish pursuits. Do everything for my sake. You will become worthy of my grace. Nirbhara bhakta. It depends on you. He was telling about this mother, Ramakrishna. He used to every day cry. Definitely, he used to cry every day. I have not realized you even today. You haven't come and shown me yourself. And he'll keep crying tears. Inconsolable he was. He won't eat. He will lose himself. He'll get angry with himself. What use of this body if I have not realized you? I want to give up this body. This kind of mad thoughts used to come to him. Because he was so keen, that's why he realized God. He had no other pursuit in life. Whatever he wanted to do, it was to realize God. Somebody came and asked him, how do I realize, can I see God the same way as you see God? So of course, yes. Of course, yes, you can see. How do I do that? He said, come, I will show you. He took him, and in this garden there was a well. And Ramakrishna pushed him into the well. And that man started struggling for breath because he's drowning, sinking. And he said, if you crave for God like the way you are craving for breath now, then you will definitely see God like I see God. That is deservedness. Why will Guru come and pick you up? Because he knows he cannot live without God. She cannot survive without God. One not another day she will survive. She needs it so badly. But what will they do? God will come and go. He will put all these things in front of you. Coins, clothes, and check. And like children who demand for something, and then we distract them with something else. And then all the children are happy. They get a toy, they forget that they were asking for something higher because they got something smaller. All those who have children or have been children, everybody has been a child at some point in time. They all know this trick of parents. You demand something parents don't want to give you, they will distract you with something else and you are busy and you have forgotten the thing. So that is how this Maya of the world comes, distracts you, keeps you busy. But you see through all these things. Like Nachiketa saw through all this when Yama was trying to distract him. He said, no. Promise me anything, I am not going to trade it for the jnana. Because that jnana only will ultimately liberate me and make me free from sorrow forever. So I am not going to accept anything, however attractive that may be. And therefore rejected whatever offers Yama made to him. In fact, some of the offers are so lucrative. You should read Kathopanishad, you will come to know. You will not have any disease, you can live as long as you want, you will never get old, you will have any number of servants, all the wealth of the world, you will rule the entire earth. Everything that you can ask for, he promises him, but does not promise jnana. At the end, you will attain heaven also, he says, but he doesn't say you will attain the jnana. And Nachiketa, the smart boy that he is, intelligent fellow, Dhira, he said, nothing doing, don't distract me with all this. All this I know may sound like a great offer, but I know none of these will last. So I just don't want these. Give me that which nobody else is capable of giving me other than you. So that is how he chooses the higher over the lower and attains that. So till we attain that, there is no possibility of being permanently happy. We can be temporarily happy, even in the presence of a guru or even in the presence of an avatar. You can be happy only so long. But if you want to really be happy anywhere, anytime, all the time, then you have to find that divinity within only. This external also won't work. Till Gopikas found Krishna inside, they were miserable because they were all the time fighting and they were jealous of each other. It so happened that these gopikas were all very angry with each other because they thought Krishna pays more attention to this gopika and not to me. And one night he called them all for a Rasa Leela. And what did he do? He manifested himself in many, many bodies. And each gopika had a Krishna to herself. Each gopa had the Krishna to himself. And everybody is playing and dancing and enjoying. And it's morning dawn. All these people have to rush back to their homes because in-laws will wake up, parents will wake up and say, where is my daughter, where is my son? Everybody is missing in the night. So they were back. As they are going back, two of them were discussing. Today was the best day of my life. Best evening. Because Krishna was always with me today. The other said, why are you lying like this? When will you stop lying? Krishna was with me today. The third one said, you both of them total liars. Krishna was actually with me today. And then they all had a fight. Because even when Krishna manifested himself as many Krishnas as they were Gopikas, still they could not be happy permanently. They were happy till the end of the Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela gets over, Asha Leela started. Only Krishna should have been with me. He was with me, he was not with you. So Krishna also cannot make you happy forever, as long as he is in the outside. The only way you can permanently be happy is when you find Krishna inside. That is what Meera did. That is what Radha did. So to see Krishna is all that we want. So when the Vishu is also, because the first thing the morning is to see, Pashyati. Ya Pashyati, Sa Pashyati. The one who sees, that alone sees. Everybody else does not see. Everybody else is only watching, but they are not seeing. That's what the scriptures say. So they were singing Suradasa ke Krishna Murari. I remembered how Suradasa was so much enamored by a woman who was somebody else's wife. But he was so much in lust and enamored by that he followed her to her home. And this lady got disgusted with this man. Why are you coming behind me, following me like this? He said, I cannot take my eyes off you. You're so beautiful. I am married, I'm somebody's wife. Even then. She says, what use are these eyes? If you would have followed Krishna and craved for Krishna's darshan, by now you would have had Krishna's darshan instead of running behind me. She says this. Suddenly something happens. Something in his mind. Oh, did I waste these eyes looking at this woman and all these worldly things? Oh, what a misfortune is that. And he picks thorn from a nearby bush and plucks both his eyes, pricks his eyes and makes himself blind. Saying, I don't want to see any of these. If I have not seen Krishna, I don't want to see any of these worlds. These eyes are only distracting me. I need to only see Krishna. So he was not born blind. He made himself blind because of this. And then what happened? He was going to Mathura to see Krishna. He thought he has to go there and now he has to live there. But as he was going, he fell into a small open well, ditch. And he is blind. He doesn't know which way to get out. Most of us are like that. Bhavandha. We are in the andhakara, in the blindness of this world, and we are stuck there and we don't know how to go. So what is the choice what choice he had in the middle of nowhere when he falls into a pit? What choice he had but to call Krishna? So he kept on calling Krishna, and then Krishna came and picked him and pulled him out of that ditch. And he asked, who are you? Who are you? He said, I am Krishna. You called me, I came. And then he bestowed the vision back on Suradas, saying, you have done enough penance. You are truly sincere. Therefore, I have come to show myself to you. He became so happy. And then Krishna vanished. What did he do? He found another thorn, pricked both his eyes again and said, now that I have Krishna, I don't want to see anything else again. I rather remain blind. You are asking for deservedness. Why Guru or God should come and I am not saying you have to jump into a well, or you have to prick your eyes, or you have to take the sword, put it on your neck and threaten God. That is all they have. That is not an external show. They did it out of great inner yearning. I want to see you. I want to experience you in me, in this, in that, in everything, in every and everywhere. That is my wish on this Vishu, that I don't want to see you as a statue another time. I want to see you as me, as everything. Bahunam janmanam ante, after many, many births of craving like this, the Jnanis come to God, having gone through all experiences of lives in all the births, craved for everything, and finally are concluded, none of this gives happiness. Ultimate, and Bahunam janmanam ante, at the end of many, many births of this yearning, craving, crying for God, ultimately Jnanis come. Maham prapadyate, they ultimately come to me. Having gone to everybody, they realize none of these can happen, so finally they come to God. Vasudevam sarvamiti. And finally they realize what after coming? Vasudevam sarvamiti. Everything is divinity. He is a Mahatma. Finally he becomes the divine himself. Higher Atma, self. Become the higher self himself, because he sees divinity everywhere. So ultimately, at the end of all our journeys of lives, the final, ultimate, supreme goal is to see Krishna, not outside. That won't happen. You may get in a vision, that is all past part of your journey. But experience of Krishna, that this is Krishna, that is Krishna, everything, Sarvam Krishnamayam, everything is Krishna. That experience alone is the end of all the experiences. The one who has experienced that has alone experienced everything. The one who knows that becomes the knower of everything. So do put efforts on this path and do not lose patience. It may not happen today, tomorrow, but whenever, under the great divine grace and compassion, as long as you are ready and you are deserving, it will happen any time as per God's will. So that is something that you have to pray for every day, not just on Vishu day. Every day when you wake up and you see the sun rising, you say, oh, you've woken me up again into this world. Please allow me to live today in a way that I realize you, I see you, I experience you everywhere. And I don't depend on you outside me, but I depend on you nirbhara bhakta, not the outside nirbhara, inside nirbhara. You depend on the divinity inside to reveal itself to you. So that is very, very important. So what is happening? Ramakrishna said, with one thorn you have to remove another thorn. And see to that the other thorn also does not go into the skin. Isn't it? So one form, attachment to a form is good to take you to a certain level. But beyond that, you should not get attached to a form. So one form you got attached to, you came to God. It was like a thorn only stuck in the flesh. And now, using another thorn, this thorn has to be removed. Now don't get attached to another form. Oh, this form has to bless me, talk to me, accept my letters, answer my this thing, listen to my please. Stop. That is another illusion that you are getting into. So it's very, very, the clarity should be there. Yes, every form is God. Then you worship all forms. Otherwise, worship no forms. Worship all as divine or worship none. We all forms are illusion. We are all made of the same clay. We are made of the same gold. Ornaments are different, pots are different, shapes, sizes, names are different. So either you worship every form that way or worship no form. But don't get stuck, attached to any form. This I am watching. This I am observing. From one form, now jumping onto the other form. Like a monkey jumps from branch to branch. That will not find you peace. That method will not find you peace. It's solely an inspiration, it's only an example. It should serve only as an example, not beyond that. Alright? But we need somebody, we need to set a standard. Isn't it? We talk about Mirabai, we talk about Tulsidas, we talk about Kanakadasa or Purandaradasa or anybody, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why do we talk about them? So that we also aspire to become like them. Through them we become. But are we becoming attached to Kanakadasa, Purandardasa, Mirabai, Tulsidasa, Surdasa? No. But we are using their name, their form as an inspiration, as a guidance to continue our journey. That is your own personal journey. And therefore, it is not good to get attached to any particular name or form. That will not lead us anywhere. That is like you are coming out of one pit and falling into the another. It won't help. So do remember this also as a part of your sadhana, that I must see God in myself, in everyone, in everything. That is my ultimate prayer. Should not see God as one form, one name, and not the other form and not the other name. Everyone is divine. That vision you grant me, O God. And God will say, yes, Dadami, I'll give you Divya Chakshu, which he gave to Krishna, to see him as everything, Vishwarupa. So God will bestow that vision upon you. It means he will give you the jnana, realization that every form, every name is me alone, is you alone. There are no more differences between anyone or anything. So till we reach that, every new year should only serve as a reminder that we have not reached. And only should motivate us, inspire us, make ourselves commit to this idea, this thought even strongly. Okay? And how do we achieve that? As I said, you put your effort, Chitta Shuddhi is your effort, and Daivanugraha will follow. If you have developed even this much Chitta Shuddhi, God will come, Guru will come, some way or the other he will come and rescue you. So, but develop that deservedness which comes from purity of mind. Purity of mind is selflessness, surrendered mind, and selfless mind is a pure mind. So everything that you do should take you there. Sarva karma bhagavad prityartham, sarva karma palatyagam. Keep doing that on a regular basis. I do everything for God's sake alone, and whatever comes out of it, I accept it as God's prasadam. Good, bad, favorable, unfavorable, pleasant, unpleasant. If you keep doing that, your Chitta Shuddhi will start. Because no attachment, nirmama, nirahankara, everything will start coming. Samat, sukha, dukha, kshami, adveshta, maitra, karma, all qualities will follow from these two activities. Sarva karma, bhagavad prityartham, sarva karma, palatyagam. If these two you do, all the qualities of the devotees that we mentioned actually start manifesting in you. So try this and try this every single day, and till when? Till you have achieved it. So many blessings for this new year, and lot of our friends, devotees from around the world, they could not be here, or they cannot participate or celebrate with their family, with their friends and devotees today. Obviously all of them in their heart of hearts are definitely praying for Swami's grace, for prosperity, happiness, health, for everyone around the world, especially in these difficult times that the world is facing today. Definitely it requires that we all together pray for the happiness of everyone. We wish for everybody's health, happiness, prosperity on this new year. But finally we pray, when we pray that everybody should be happy, what we truly mean is that everybody should be God realized. Happiness is union with God. So ultimately everybody should experience that happiness, should be our prayer for all. See, tough times are there, but times won't last. It's a season. Seasons change. Today one season is there, today summer is there, tomorrow there's going to be rain, day after winter, after that there might be Vasanta. It will keep moving this way. So we should not get worried that is this the end of everything. No, it is not. But definitely it is a moment for us to go inward and ask ourselves, what is the true reason why we are on this earth? What is the purpose of our lives? Was it just to earn money? To make a big Vishu Kani? Or is it to realize Vishnu is in Vishwam? So what was our goal? That we must ask. Probably this is a good time and opportunity for everybody to sit down and think contemplate on this thought around the world, that the main purpose is not just for this Jivana Upadhi, but it is the Jivita Paramavadhi. And so God has given us a break. He said, "You are running too fast on the wrong road. Let me stop you and think, which road are you running on? Maybe you are on the wrong road. So take a U-turn, get onto the right road, because blindly you are simply running without realizing where you are going." So we should, and these times, these quarantine times, isolation times, lockdown times are times when you have to stop and see, which road am I on? Am I on the path of Jivata Paramavadi, or am I running only for Jivanopadhi? And can I set this right? Can I take to the right path? And can I? So when God gives me another opportunity to continue my work in the world, I should be on the right path, which is taking me towards the highest. So this is a good opportunity for everyone. On this we should to sit down and ask themselves, what will make them truly happy? What will make their dear ones truly happy? And what is the idea of this Vishukani? And what is seeing Krishna in the morning? What does it mean? Contemplate on these thoughts and find answers within, and realize yourself, be happy forever. That is all I want. That is what any guru, any god ever wanted from the devotee, that you be happy. But the only way of happiness is you become that. Tattvamasi. You are that, you become that, you realize that, you will be happy. Let that be the pursuit.